Back in 1975, I was in a small boat trying to protect a pod of sperm whales from Soviet whalers. Suddenly, a harpoon struck one of the whales. She screamed and the water turned blood red around her. The biggest whale in the pod attacked the whaling ship, but the harpooner was ready and shot him also. He rolled on the surface in agony. He dove and came towards me, his head rising from the sea, so close I could see my own reflection in his eye.
The whale understood what we were trying to do because I could see the effort he made to bring himself back, and he slid back into the sea. I saw his eye disappear beneath the surface, and he died. Could have taken my life, and he chose not to do so.
That's when I glimpsed the insanity of humanity. That is why I've devoted my entire life to the defense of whales and other creatures of the sea, because these creatures maintain the life support system of this planet.
This is Paul Watson.
They're in violation of international conservation regulations.
Founder of Sea Shepherd Conservation Society, a global fleet of ocean protectors who go where no one else will to defend marine life on the high seas. Paul's here to tell you about threats to the ocean and why you need to know about them.
This is the planet ocean, and what that means, it's water in continuous circulation. All life on this planet is connected, and right now our biggest life support system, the sea, has never been more at risk. This is bad news for us. Let me explain.
Ocean Threat 1, killing whales. Over the past 100 years, humans have killed 90% of the great whales. So how could this affect humanity? The answer is profound. The whales are the farmers of the ocean. Every day they release huge plumes of manure throughout large areas. This material is rich in nutrients like iron and nitrogen that the tiny microscopic plants called phytoplankton need to survive. Phytoplankton are among the most important species on the planet because they are the foundation of the ocean ecosystem, the foundation of the planetary food chain. Phytoplankton use the sun's energy to absorb most of the world's carbon dioxide for their cells. In turn, they release 70% of the oxygen that we need to breathe. But since 1950, their population has diminished by 40%. The mass killing of the whales diminishes the nutrient base for the phytoplankton.
Okay, so if we like breathing oxygen and if we want a stable climate, we need whales to feed the phytoplankton.
Yes, that's right, but that's not the only threat to phytoplankton.
Ocean Threat 2, global warming.
Phytoplankton survive best in cold waters because they have more nutrients than warm waters. But the whole planet is getting hotter. And it's getting hotter because we're releasing too much CO2 and other gases into our atmosphere. Why are these gases increasing so much? For millions of years, plants have been absorbing carbon on land, and plankton have been absorbing it in the ocean. As they die, some of these trees, plants, animals, and microscopic creatures get compressed over time into the Earth's crust. The trees and plants form coal, while the plankton and some animal matter in the oceans form oil. Along with natural gas, we call these fossil fuels. In just 100 years, we've been releasing hundreds of millions of years of stored carbon dioxide to heat and power our homes and to fuel our cars and our planes and our ships. Another major contributor to global warming gases is the meat industry. The cutting down of forests to make space for huge factory farms full of animals like cows. The digestive system of a cow can produce up to 200 kilograms of methane gas a year, and this gas can be up to 100 times worse than carbon dioxide for global warming. With 1.5 billion cows on Earth right now, all that burping and farting is producing masses of methane, making the problem even worse. There are many more sources of CO2 and methane, but the point is that these gases are building up in the atmosphere surrounding the Earth, trapping the sun's heat, melting ice caps, changing ocean currents, and creating extreme weather.
All this is not good. Not just for phytoplankton, but for millions of species in the ocean and all over the planet.
Ocean Threat 3. Acidification. The more CO2 that absorbs into the ocean, the more acidic it becomes, which is making it harder for phytoplankton to grow. Again, less phytoplankton absorbing CO2 means our planet gets even hotter. Coral reefs that are thousands of years old could vanish from the Earth in the next 20 years. Coral reefs are home to millions of species, but rising temperatures and acidification are bleaching these ecosystems, making living conditions harder for all marine life.
Ocean Threat 4. Overfishing.
Coastal communities have depended on fishing for thousands of years, catching just a few fish at a time, but the modern fishing industry uses huge bottom trawling nets that take out everything in their path. In the last 16 years, they've killed 90% of the large fishes, and almost half are fed to animals for the meat industry. If we don't stop this, by 2048, there will be no fish left in the sea.
Ocean Threat 5. Noise pollution.
Marine creatures have extra sensitive hearing. They mainly communicate, hunt, and navigate using sound. But huge fishing boats, cargo ships, cruise ships, and ferries, the drilling and searching for oil, sonic blasts to map the ocean floor, and military sonar mean that underwater species can't hear each other, which makes it harder for them to survive. In some cases, the blasts of noise can instantly kill certain creatures, like zooplankton.
Ocean Threat 6. Toxic chemicals.
We all know humans need insects. They pollinate our plants and trees, allowing them to grow our food. They keep our ecosystems alive. But most of the farm foods we eat have been sprayed with pesticides to kill them.
When it rains, these chemicals get washed down into soils and rivers to the ocean, creating lethal dead zones.
Ocean Threat 7. Plastic waste. Plastic is made from oil, and it's a big threat. From the moment that oil comes out of the pipe to the 12.7 million tons of plastics that find their way into our ocean every year, killing marine life, 100,000 animals, and 1 million seabirds per year, and breaking down into giant soups of dangerous microplastics getting into the food chain.
Okay, stop. This is out of control. We have to do something about it all.
Yes, it's ecological insanity, and it'll lead us right up to the beginning of a mass extinction event. The Earth is a spaceship on this incredible trip around the Milky Way galaxy, and every spaceship has a life support system. And that life support system is run by a crew of Earthlings that includes bees and worms and viruses and bacteria and insects. Humans, well, we're killing off crew members. And there's only so many crew members you can kill before the machinery begins to break down, and that life support system is no longer working.
The most important thing we can do with our lives is to defend the world that gives us life. We need to connect with the ocean, to care for it, to take positive action in whatever way we can.
Every social movement, every big change, every revolution in history has come down to the passion, the imagination, and the courage of individuals, just like you.
We're all in this together. We all have the potential to save this planet.